What's going on, beautiful people of YouTube? It's Renebean. Welcome to another live episode of hunting. I'm super excited about this one. I was able to add some very awesome games to the collection and get some great finds out there. I'm going to go ahead and announce the winner to the last episode giveaway, and that winner is Justin Dunn. Congratulations, $20 store credit to my eBay store. Just hit me up on Instagram to claim that prize. For everybody else out there, all you got to do is be subscribed to the channel, hit the thumbs up, and leave a comment down below for your chance to win. Everybody, I'm excited about this episode. I hope you are too. Sit back and relax. Let's shekel up. Alright everybody, welcome back to another episode. As always, I hope you all have had tremendous luck out there. You've been finding some crazy things. Let me know in the comments what you guys have found out there, whether it's good or bad. You know I like to hear about it. So here I am at the first pickup right here, and I've stopped at a few yard sales before I got to this one. I didn't want to make this one my number one priority. I should have, now that I'm kicking myself for what I potentially missed out on. I saw that this was posted on Craigslist. Facebook, I had one of my saved searches for games. Nintendo 64 games popped up for that search. And I messaged the lady. I said, what type of games do you have? Can you send me pictures, that sort of thing? She sent me a picture, and all I had was the top labels. And I looked at the picture, and I was like, oh, that's great. I mean, I'll buy all of them. What kind of price did you have in mind? She said something a little bit high for me. It was like 110, 120. There were some good titles in there, there was Smash Brothers, Ocarina of Time, that sort of thing. So I thought to myself, well, that price is a little bit high. I don't want to try to, negotiate with her before she's even had this sale. A lot of times they're just going to say no because they're going to get that usually, or whatever price they think they're going to get it at the sale. So I said to myself, well, I'll stop at this yard sale in the morning, but it's not going to be my first stop. And I go to a few yard sales before I get to this one, and when I get here, I can see all the games are picked through. It sucks, it happens, but they didn't do a good job when it comes to picking through all this stuff, because anytime you see N64 games for $1, if they're not your typical sports games, snatch them up. Same with your controllers. I always tell you guys out there, first-party Nintendo controllers, pick them up all day long. And she had that controller and that Pokemon Transfer Pack for the 64 for $3. That's an amazing deal right there. The GameCube controller alone can sell for $15-20 by itself. Another $10-12 for the Transfer Pack. It's an amazing pickup right there. Now, as far as the pricing that you're seeing here, I'm seeing N64 games that are $1, and then she had Star Fox 64 for $5. What I'm assuming happened for this is, whenever she quoted me that price, none of this stuff was priced. She didn't know of a price at the time, and I didn't respond to that. I told her I'll think about it. And maybe she thought that was too high and started marking things individually, or someone else marked them. I have no idea. But when you see some games marked higher than others, they see value in certain games versus other games. So when I got there and I saw that those games were picked through, and the games that were picked through were your common titles that a lot of, just standard hunters, people who aren't game collectors, go for. They go for their Mario titles, they go for their Zelda titles, things like that. But they left so much more behind: the GameCube controller, the Transfer Pack, and the games, some of which, Star Fox 64, some Star Wars games, Tony Hawk, The World Is Not Enough, just good titles. And the kicker of it all, I got it all for $10. That's a great deal right there. So this is a prime example of, a place this has been poorly picked through. Don't ever let that discourage you. If you're the second or third person to arrive at a sale, you had other hunters before you, you can usually find something. And a lot of times, these people haven't even been asked, do you got any other video games? I'm looking for such and such more. She sadly didn't, but there's been times where I've arrived late to a sale, missed out on a big box of Nintendo, only discovered that they had a big box of Sega in their basement they forgot to bring out because no one asked. So here I am at a church sale, and I've told you guys this in the past. Church sales are kind of hit or miss when it comes to video games. Sometimes you find them, sometimes you don't. They're usually great, though, for other resale items. But here I do find some PS3 games, and the most notable one, the one that I pick up, is Ni no Kuni: Wrath of the White Witch. I asked her how much she wanted. She said $5. I said, would you take 3? Showing her a smile. And she said, absolutely. So it was a good pickup. It's a PS3 game exclusive. And it's one that's, still sought after today. So at this yard sale a little further down the road, there was no video games here, but I do come across this really awesome Pikachu plushie. I have a rule of thumb when it comes to picking up plushies for resale. They are extremely hit or miss. It's all about subject matter. And for me, I use that term risk and reward big time with these things because they can sit on your shelves for quite some time. Some people have really great luck selling plushies, but in my experience, they are slow movers. It's all about the subject material. And for me, when I pick them up, it's got to have that classic rule of thumb. Is it cheap and is it going to be under £1 just for shipping? Because you're not going to get extreme amounts of money for these things. And this particular one, it was extremely cheap. It was only $1 and it was very light. This thing, I think, weighs like 10, maybe 12 ounces. And it's surprising for its size, but I don't know what type of material it has in it. I may be able to get 15, 20 bucks for this, but it also could sit for quite some time on my shelves. It just depends. Like I said, it's all about subject matter. You know, you want to go for things like Disney characters and comic book heroes, you know, just things like that. You can always, you know, look on eBay, look at sold listings, type in plushie, and just kind of get an idea of what is selling and for how much. But do keep that rule of thumb in mind. You know, you want these things to be dirt cheap. Don't spend more than $1 or $2, and make sure they are under £1. That way you can get away with very cheap shipping for these things. So here I am at another yard sale further down the line. Come across this table, and right away I see some PS1 games sticking out right on top, and I'm like, oh yeah, this is great. This is a random sale. I believe this was a freestyle yard sale, and for those of you who do not know, a freestyle yard sale is one that you do not have planned or one that you are not actively going to. You just see it along the way. You might catch a sign, or you just may see them set up. That was the case in this one right here. And everybody, I cannot stress this enough. This is the #1 rule when it comes to hunting, whether it's video games or anything. If you see a sign, or if you think that it is a yard sale that you see out the corner of your eye, go to it. Never skip a sale, because the one time that you skip a sale is going to be the one time that you miss something. Some of my best finds come from freestyle stops. So with that said, at this yard sale, you see me come across some PS1 games, and the beautiful thing about it is they were all $1 a piece. What was really nice about it is there were some titles that I did not have for my collection. So while these games aren't the most expensive, you know, SimCity 2000 maybe being about the most expensive one at about 10, 15 bucks. It's just nice to be able to add games to your collection. You know, it really does feel like the old days, you know, 8 years ago, yard selling, when you come across games for $1. You don't see that often anymore. It's getting harder and harder to find any games out there. But that's the thing, they can still be found. I kind of get tired of hearing people say you can't find anything at yard sales no more, and it's extremely fictitious for the fact that you still can. It's just harder, and possibly one day it could, very well be you're not finding anything at yard sales, but I don't think that's the case, because, the further we get along in this hobby, people start to lose interest in it, and those people who are losing interest in finding games are going to be what makes you able to find games. So I think it's going to kind of work itself out in the end, but at this point in game collecting, it's just harder, but it's still 100% possible. So after I picked up those PS1 games, I asked her if she had any other consoles, any other units, anything she could think of, and she said her husband would go inside and check it out. And while I did that, the other lady at the sale who was selling some of her items said, I got a couple PlayStations over here if you wanted to come check them out. So PS2s, much like the Wii's, they're slow movers, and the profit margins aren't that high, but as we get closer to Christmas, I'm definitely going to stock up on these. Plus, these are the PlayStation 2 Slim models, which sell quite a bit better than the bigger counterparts. Now you see there is a copy of Dragon Ball Z Budokai. Unfortunately, it was scratched beyond repair, so I didn't even bother picking it up. And one of the PlayStations had a copy of SSX Tricky in there, so that's always a bonus. The good thing about it is this console that I picked up right here was crunched in the front. Something was stacked on it. I have no idea, but it was completely destroyed. But the copy with SSX Tricky in there was in pretty good shape. I asked her how much she wanted for the PlayStation 2s, and she said $10. I asked, would you take $5 for just one of the units, the controllers, and the necessary cords? She hopped right on it. I did mention to her that this one was kind of broken. I didn't want to say, like, you're not going to sell this or whatever it is, but I wanted her to be aware of that in case someone else did try to pick it up and they were not aware of it. She might pass on some good karma points and mention that it is broken in the front, because I don't think that thing's going to play. Because although you don't really see it that well in the video, the damage was pretty bad. I mean, the thing was kind of doing a Z motion with the front of the console, so Hopefully someone picks it up that knows what they're doing and they see that it is broken. So for $5, PS2 Slim with necessary controllers and cords, that is a good deal right there. So here we are with the final pickup of the video, and this is an awesome one right here. Believe it or not, I was actually editing this video when I decided to hop on Facebook Marketplace and see if anything new was posted. The second I did, this was like 3 minutes on. Sent her a message immediately, said I will come and grab it, and now we got it added onto this video right here. So it makes it a little bit longer, and you can see another awesome find. So what you're going to see is a huge Game Boy lot. There is a Game Boy Advance 001 as well as a Game Boy Color and a bunch of awesome games. But what makes this pickup extremely special to me, like one that's never happened before in any of my filming, is as we were filming this, you're going to see me jerk my head to the right. That red truck just smashed the back of that white truck pretty damn hard. You can't see it in the video that well, but his bumper's all messed up. And once I see that, no one's, falling out their vehicles, that nothing's on fire, I get back to the games. Of course, if the wreck was, more severe, I'm going to go over there and check it out, make sure everybody's okay. Fortunately, everybody was fine. It was just a pretty bad fender bender. But it was pretty crazy to be right there when it happened, just to hear the, the brakes screeching and then the ultimate smash at the end. Luckily, everybody's fine, though. So getting back to this stack of games right here, I'm telling you, there was so many Game Boy games in here. And but the beauty of this lot, it was only $30. This lot was not expensive at all. $30 for a Game Boy Color, a Game Boy Advance SP. I mean, you see me pull out, The Legend of Zelda. I mean, this is just an amazing lot. And what I'm looking through, I'm not looking through every game, but I am trying to find the games that make this extremely worth it. I'm finding Pokemon Blue, that sort of thing right there. And this is something that I've seen other people do when it comes to local pickups. Always check the stuff out before you leave. You don't have to pull out every single item, but make sure that what's in that lot that makes it extremely worth it is there. A lot of times people can forget items. Disc won't be in their cases, or they can be scratched beyond repair. So always check things out before you give the people the money or before you leave. Just make sure that everything that was promised is there and in the condition that you thought of it to be. And another good thing about this pickup too is she said that she had a NES with some games and all that she was going to hit me up later on. What was really nice about it, and this is a good tip for you guys out there as well, since we did all this on Facebook, I saw that we had one mutual friend, but it happened to be a mutual friend that was a really good friend. We talked about that one person, and just so happened that's the sister-in-law of this person. So it just makes the trust level go up even more and potentially heightens my chances of her actually calling back for the NES and game. So my fingers are crossed on that one. Alright everybody, so that is the end of the episode, and of course you're going to see the recap, you're going to see all the Game Boy games, everything that I picked up throughout the whole episode with the awesome music in the background. So anyways guys, I hope you all take care and enjoy the rest of your day.